Okay. All right. Today's topic is actually very close to my heart, and many of you know Roy Tokufuka, Roy Tokunaga. I think I have Roy here. Where's Roy? Nora. Okay, there's Nora. Okay. I believe this is Roy. Let's see. Okay. This is the Latourae Dendrobium, and this session is the type. It's actually really popularized by my good friend Roy Tokunaga at HNR at Hawaii, and I believe Roy has since almost retired now. All his kids, all graduated from college, and I think he's originally from Maui, and we've been close friends since I was doing the Miami show in 1997. So we become really good friends because he's a UH University of Hawaii graduate, and I went to UH University of Hawaii at Hilo for scholarship to do Dendrobium. So we become very close friends. So maybe about 15 years ago, Roy visited me in California because his daughter was going to school in San Jose, and he checked out my nursery, and he picked up some tips that he can improve on his nursery for some of the greenhouse management and structure. And he said, Norman, I've been working on this new type of Dendrobium, some of the species from New Guinea and area, and Latourae type. You should. I'm going to send you some compound when they are available, because the weather that we have, of course, that was the first time he into my area. Is very good. You can treat it like Cymbidium orchid, and this is where we are today. So I've been working with and growing and testing this type of Dendrobium. As you know, Dendrobium have about 1,500 species in the world. A lot of them is from Australia, New Guinea, Southeast Asia, all from the old world. Now the Dendrobium is from the South America. Okay, so it's a very fascinating genus and trial. If you look at my website, Dendrobium is actually I have a lot of Dendrobium in my website because my area here very hot in the summertime. Even outside, I can grow this outdoor, and they can sustain the heat up to 108 degrees. Of course, I hide the water almost every day, but they can take the heat, and they also can take the cold. I can put it outdoor in my patio here, non-heated conservatory, provided cover to prevent from the rain, because in Southern California, the only rain season we have is in the winter time. So if I can keep it dry, I can keep this type of Dendrobium down to about 45, 48 degrees, no water. Okay, the easiest way to kill all your outdoor orchid in the winter time is water the plant and water your orchid. The moisture in the root area become very icy, and that actually make the area of the root even 10 to 15 degrees colder. At the same theory, we water them more often in the summertime, and that way is not only to keep the plant thriving with the water, but also keep the root temperature cooler also. And this is a type of typical type of Dendrobium for this type. And if I pull this off, because can you make it closer? The nice about this type of Dendrobium, this is a 4 years old plant. They really get better with age. And I found this type of Dendrobium because many of you know I don't like to use a lot of chemical. I don't use hardcore fungicide. We had to use pesticide, but when they come to the Dendrobium section, I rarely had to spray pesticide on them. You know why? Because some of the species, if you look at the back of this flower here, this is the Mima. Okay, one of this hybrid here, they have a lot of hair in the back. Okay, and aphid do not want, aphid cannot even stay on the flower because they have this hair on them. So they make it very unattractive for the insect like aphid to attach them. The mite and thrip do not like it because they are too succulent. The leaf is too leathery. It's not juicy like some other orchid like Miltonia or Phalaenopsis. So this is why I'm so excited about this type of project. And also the flower, they have two main flush a year, spring and fall. Okay, so in the summertime they do their vegetation. Another nice about this type of Dendrobium is they can rebloom from the old can. So every old can rebloom here. So look at here, there's more coming up here. So there's sequential flower, and they really give you a bouquet of this coming up. And I'm going to give you a number on this one here in case people are interested. This is 1298. Sorry, I was a little bit behind on prepared today. The nursery has been swamped with a lot of visitors today. And I was working really late last night, working with some of my friends in Asia and working up some of the really great deal, great variety for our collection coming up this coming summer and winter. Okay. So they can be, they usually, and they're fast grower, they can start flowering in about maybe 3 years. This is Nora, Nora tokunaga. Nora is Roy's wife, and obviously Roy named one of the best one after his wife. Okay, I'm sorry. And this is Roy, and this is Nora. Roy is NF1379. Okay, I just write the Roy because it's very disciplined. It gives you that very classic, that almost that bamboo like, and the back of the flower can be very attractive too. So what I usually do on this Dendrobium, I usually put it in the hottest, the brightest part of my greenhouse. So if you go under light or windowsill, okay, put it, if you have a south or west window that is too hot for Paphiopedium, Flag, or Phalaenopsis, this type of Dendrobium is perfect. They can expose to a lot of light. Even if it's some sunburn, that's okay, because some of this older leaf you can just pinch off. But they do, the more light you give them, the more flower you're gonna have. So typical Roy tokunaga is a bigger flower, but it has less flower. Some of this, and this is some of the next generation. Okay, they can really get a lot of flower, like Nora, for example. You also notice this is the difference between the light. When you give them a lot of light, the can will be more reddish color. And so don't be worried. The more light you can give them, you might get more reddish color. And this is very critical because in the summertime when they have a lot, you can almost like if you go Cenoche and Calocedum, you cannot overwater them. And they can take all the nutrient you can get them. So this is also perfect if you go Cenoche and Calocedum type. Put them together in the summertime when they're not in flower, and when they're doing their vegetation stage. A lot of water, a lot of light, a lot of feeding. And
do they need a winter rest?
They do not need to be rested. They do not, because they're not the type like from Nobel from Himalaya. Remember, these are from New Guinea and some Australia down south, where there is no winter rest at all. So this is why it's perfect for a lot of people in the south, like Texas, Houston in the summertime when it's hot and steamy. They love it. South Florida, some of the biggest grower, the plant I see is in South Florida. If you have any Vanda basket, wonderful. Put this into your Vanda basket and you can fill it up with moss. They love water. And so the moss with the Vanda basket with a slide open can dry out the media a lot faster. So why I choose, and then there's a lot of nice species that is coming to the pictures. Right? This is not available on the website yet, but this is one of the species called Dendrobium arboretum. Isn't it cute? So you're gonna see a lot of the miniature hybrid coming from this type of Dendrobium. And this is the Dendrobium arboretum. Isn't it cute? If you go under light, perfect for under light, or if you have the cage for that. So, and this is the hybrid. This is the, for example, Aussie trip. This is the hybrid using the bigger flower type onto this. So you have something that, this is the species, and this is one of the arboretum by height. Isn't it darling? And the flower can last about 3 to 6 months. So when they, especially with make it dry, look at this, all this flower bud coming up here from the all can. Okay, so you're gonna have a brush, a bouquet of flower. Doesn't take a lot of room, and I think it's better than Cymbidium, because Cymbidium only flower once a year, and this will give you another flush in the fall. So I think if you never grow this before, always grow this one first, NF2238. Okay, this is the primary hybrid, the one with its green flower, with the one with the sort of hair in the back. It's the best looking plant. So this is the beginner's plant if you want to get into this type of Dendrobium. And you can also go them with the Cattleya also. Okay. And this is one of the species to make this. You see that? You see the leaf structure? The genetically they all had a dark green leaf. And Jeff, can you do a focus on the flower? Your hair. See that? And I just love the leaf, the way that the flower come out. Okay, and this is another Dendrobium species I haven't released yet. It's called Physiology. And it's very, very architecturally pretty. So you can see the influence on them. Some of the species, remember that when the new grow, they have the sort of the sheet like this. Okay, as they mature, don't worry, the plants are very, very pest and disease resistant. So if you see something like this, it's not disease, it's just the physiology. This is one of the back suitable. Okay, and they are going to be dropping the leaves. So if it doesn't, I usually just break it, because it's all, and this one's fine. You can just break it without, you don't have to even, very easy to break. You don't even need to use a knife, so to prevent any disease. And if you see any of the old sheet like this, before I make it to the shore, those ones that suitable have matured, you can all go ahead and clean them up. Okay, but the one that's still growing, leave them alone, because they still kind of protected. Okay, like almost there, but you can actually remove some of the bottom one. But this is how they protect. This is about a month ago, it's still green like this. So once they turn this, okay, slightly open. Then I can remove them. Let me check out the front. Ah, good. You see here? So that way the water will not collect here. Okay. And the plant is not too, the new shoot is not too tender, so the insects make it harder for insect to have. So this is why, this is the species, one of the species behind this. Look at this. So this is gonna be flowering. This new growth coming up is getting ready for May and June. So they're gonna be, this is what we call a spring bloomer. Okay, so pretty much it's very, if you go Cattleya, Dendrobium, and always started with this Mima, this primary hybrid, and a 2238. This is what the probably easiest grower right now for heat resistant. Yes, question?
Asking what kind of potting media do they like?
Yes, because they are from New Guinea, and some of the species are found growing on top of rock. So that generally speaking, they do not like moss. So I always grow them in bark. We medium bark. At my nursery, I have a medium orchid mix type. Okay. You can actually buy the pre-mix. You can use for outdoor. You can buy the fine mix or medium mix. Fine mix will be good because we add a lot of the charcoal, the bamboo charcoal in there. The mix like to have a lot of open air. You see here? Look at all the root here. Okay, I have a lot of charcoal, perlite. Yeah, but generally speaking, I do not grow this in the moss. Maybe in the baby stage. Okay, the only time you can do it in the moss is that size is if in South Florida, and you want to put when the plant get really big, you can put it in the basket. They do really good as a hanging basket, but use the Vanda basket that have a lot of size range. Then you can use the moss because once you put it as a hanging basket, because they love the heat rises, but they're going to dry out faster. Huh? And they also have very, very fragrant. Thank you, Jeff. That's another plus for this. They have very sweet fragrance. Depending on the hybrid, if the temperature about 70, 75 degrees, some of the hybrid have the fragrance like orange blossom. There are some hybrid, but this one here had the fragrance of the sweet honey, for example. And so the main thing is, I think this is, if you never grow this type of Dendrobium, give it a try. You'd be surprised how long they last. That's what Roy told me. You know, some of them we had tested. So Jamie had used it in her interior design. Some of them had last for about 3 up to 6 months on the flower, until people thought it's a plastic flower. And they ship really well because, so we actually developing, we're going to offer some of this type for Mother's Day gift because everybody asking for something different. They don't want another white phalaenopsis for Christmas, for Mother's Day. But this type is what I refer as ideal pot plant. Can you imagine when they ship it in? Look how easy they ship. The pollen cap doesn't fall off, and the flowers attached. So they're very durable for shipping. And this is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And some of the variety we also tested. The one I recommended, even when I put it in the box and we ship as a testing, and we purposely asked the client in New York, Boston, and Miami, when they receive it for 2-day shipping, leave it in the dark for 1 week, and then open it. And then when they open it, the picture responds to us, oh my God, Norman, the leaf still stay green like this. So the plant, the physiology, when the light shut down, It's almost like Phalaenopsis, the cane plant. Cane plant is the cactus. All the cactus are cane plant, which means that the stoma, the skin, the stoma is closed during the day, like in the desert, to prevent water loss. Okay, so I think this type of Dendrobium, from where it comes from, because it's so hot and humid, is behaving like Phalaenopsis, the cane plant, that in the hot desert, their cell, the stoma, during the day can close to prevent the heat loss, the water moisture loss. So this is why a lot of time when we do orchid for shipping, for example, especially for gift, we had to worry about the leaf color, because obviously you cannot do that with azalea. Okay, put an azalea in a puppy bud, ship it overnight for 2-3 days. The azalea, the leaf, camellia, for example, the leaf is going to turn yellow. Okay, so this is why not everything can be used as a gift plant, even for our orchid department, for Eric shipping department on that. So we do a lot of testing, before we go into big scale of growing them, and also recommend to you as a client. And how are we doing so far? Doing okay? And if you go under light, pick. This is also good because some of this, for example, Roy, Aussie chip. This might be big. This is actually this one here is great for put it as a patio plant or in a pot plant. You want to grow something shorter, like this one here, for under light, and so you can actually, for Jeff have a new light now, the new light for the bright light, for the Cadillac light, put all this under light with the bright one. What number is that? What you call it?
Spike producer.
Spikes? Okay, spikes producer, bright light one. And with the Jeff new UV light, Mega Dry, Norman Fang, all this is all suitable like this. Look at this. They're gonna be continuous popping up flower, because especially under light in the house, it's not going to be as hot as outdoor, so it's a lot easier to maintain. So you guys almost like a maintenance, and especially you have air conditioning in the summertime. I know we have a lot of customers in Arizona and Texas. Your room temperature is going to be below 80 degrees, 85, so it's a perfect temperature range for this type of orchid to stay as the flowering stage. So this is wonderful, wonderful. And everything else, I should also spray them with 5 cents every other week, and once a month, minimum once a month. If you can do it, mark it on your calendar every other week. We make us the foliage, and all this 5 cents once a month. Yeah, as a preventative program. So other than that, I think this is very easy and a group of Dendrobium to try out if you never tried this before. I know Linda Earl, her area in Georgia, Virginia, yeah, it's very hot, and or if you are in Louisiana, you're hot. In Houston, very hot and steamy in the wintertime. They can take the heat. Okay, and then if you even in your hotter greenhouses is fine. And okay, I'm not supposed to say okay. Okay, and that's about it. Any more questions?
Minnesota? They'll do good in
Minnesota, yes. Minnesota, you are you going in Minnesota in the greenhouse or under light? I assume it'll be under light. Perfect. Under light in Minnesota, it's still indoor. You still have a room temperature. It's comfortable for you. I would go in the Minnesota. A lot of people go under light, and that'll be fine. In fact, because this is the field Dendrobium, and I can easily tell you, the leaf is kind of pretty, very waxy. Remind me of camellia flower. And the leaf is actually this group of Dendrobium, the leaf is actually very attractive. And I like the way the can grow. And if you have time, on some of the older can, I like to get the O2 brush. And especially if you take it to the show for exhibit, and people always are wondering, how come my plant only got a red ribbon, and this guy have less flower and have blue ribbon? As a judge, we in the ribbon judging, we not just the flower, but we also look at the presentation. So when you have time, make sure to use the O2 brush, and I wetted the 5-cent solution, for example, and just brush off all the suitable.
You have to do a happy birthday wish to Kara's son.
Huh?
We have to do a happy birthday wish to Kara's son.
Oh,
Today's
wow.
Kara's son's birthday.
Great. Happy birthday, Carlos. What's your son's name? Okay. Okay. So. Okay. So I think that will be a good, nice introduction for this type of Dendrobium. And when they get to the summertime, we're going to do another segment on the repotting, what to do with them after the flower finish. But right now, the season this is the nice peak season. The season for this type of Dendrobium flowering is now. They're gonna flower from now all the way to maybe July, August, when summer is hot. If you're in Portland, Oregon, they might be still in flower in August, because Portland is a lot cooler. So in Minnesota, you can actually put it outside in your porch. It's warm, cooler, and so we'll go over this coming summer for the repotting and the maintenance part, and I will do the tip of the week. Okay. Oh, forgot. This should be here. See, this is another one that I should need to be repotted, but I will not do repotting right now. You see here, they actually push up. So best not to do any repotting. If you do any repotting right now, if your flower is gonna collapse. But what you can do is just make sure you clean up all the older leaf and cut off some of the older spikes. Okay, Jeff, can you focus on this one here? Okay, because I don't use fungicide, hardcore fungicide, so they're gonna be sometimes, and the plant have their own defense against the fungus. So when you see something like this, the plant already isolate the fungus. They're not getting any bigger. But if it bothers you, and this is the older can, you see here, what I usually do is I just pinch those off. Want to make sure they don't get any chance to get the infection getting larger. And this is why you can get away without spraying hardcore fungicide on them. And by cutting them off, I have more light here. And this is actually going to encourage, where I break the flower, the leaf, I'm going to encourage more flower coming from here with a light on it. So this is not the time to repot them. Let's wait, okay? Let's wait until the flower are finished to do the repotting. And we will revisit this in July in July, okay? Jeff, you're gonna remember me. Jeff is so nice. Okay. So, are you guys ready for tip of the week? Okay. Okay. Well, tip of the week is what to do with the sunburn. You want to see some sunburn paphiopedium? This is from a client who shipped this up to me. Okay, and this is actually been here for about almost 2 months at the nursery. So you know who you are, so you probably know what it looks like before they come in. They actually, don't panic. If you get sunburn, this is the typical sunburn. Okay, this is the case. It was in the windowsill, but in the apartment, high-rise apartment, have a lot of sun, even in the winter time. So the Paphiopedium got a little bit too close to the window. The refresh light, it burned them. Okay, so when I receive this, and this is still in the original container, which is fine. And the worst thing you can do is to repot them. Please do not repot any orchid when you first receive, either from us or from anybody. And especially if plants are really stressed, like from the sunburn. So what the first thing I do is, it's been in my nursery for 2 months now. What I do is I put it in the darkest, the most moisture area of the nursery. So at home, you can put it on the north side of your window, or if you go under light, the lower part of your label, where you might have a what we call isolation area. And so they actually take them 2 months to change color, darker. It gives the time for plant to really recover. And then also twice a week we have the Mega Dry application. So Mega Dry really help them to recover. So you can see even some of the sunburn yellow area is coming back. So this whole area did not get permanent damage. But so the area that this is actually what's gone. So now this is the perfect. So for the area like this, if it didn't bother you, see here, it got a new growth coming up now. And Mega Dry does help them. I would usually, if it bothers you, you can cut it off. But in this plant's example, I would not cut this section off, because this is just sunburn. It's not disease. Go ahead and leave it there, because the plant itself can use all this green area for photosynthesis to make up nutrient. Okay, so you need the coverage. So I will not break it away. And then wait until this is coming up, maybe about 4 inches before you repot it. And don't worry, we're going to do a compressed path culture in about a couple of weeks, and I'm going to show you some of the repotting. And that's when I'm going to use this as an object for repotting. Okay. Here's another spotted one. Okay. I would leave it alone. And later on, when I do I show the repotting, I will actually do the physical removing. But at this meantime, I'm gonna make sure the plant has the extra area for photosynthesis. Okay, but the plant is actually doing well. Okay, it's not quite there yet, but it putting out a deal. This plant was sold only single grow and such a bad shape. But follow the rule is 5 cents. Especially 5 cents, because when the plant are under stress, the sunburn, they are more subject, they are weaker to any of the fungus infection. So that they will prevent that. And then put in a dark area, and then also make sure you spray your Mega Dry. They need the extra kick, the extra help on that. And don't forget the nutrient. The nutrient also going to help them with the new growth coming up. And this is his Paphiopedium Latourae. Latourae is a Malaysian species, sunburn. But look at this. This is all happened when it come in my nursery for 2 months. All the new growth coming up. So I will not even bother with this. So we will see what happened in 2 weeks when we do. So this will be a perfect example for me to do repotting for the complex Paphiopedium in about a couple of weeks. So this is the key point, the tip of the week on the sunburn Paphiopedium. So do not go back up panic. Make sure you keep on top of the Mega Dry and also the 5 cents, because when they're under stress, they are more weaker. A lot of things. If this plant did not have Mega Dry on them and 5 cents on them, a lot of this sunburn area will develop. With the sunburn, they might have fungi infection, and then you had to then become rotted and go all the way down to the crown, and then you're gonna lose the whole plant. Okay, so never repot when plants are under stress. You want to help them to build out their immune system by eliminate any potential pathogen by Physin solution, and then use Mega-Dry to give them the kick, the enzyme to encourage them to really turn on their own plant production of the plant hormone, like cytokinins and auxin. All right, so this will be our segment for this week, and